Do you need a no-nonsense way of starting a sourdough starter? Kind of my middle name. I'm gonna tell you how I started my starter. Here's what you need to know. If you've been around, you know these things about me. If you haven't, you'll learn them quickly. I'm no nonsense. I don't follow all the rules. I rarely measure things, and I usually take the path of least complication. There are a lot of rules surrounding sourdough. I just don't feel like it's that complicated. A lot of rules that I don't follow. We're gonna talk about some of the rules. You know, there's best practice, it gets you the best results, but then there's also the other side where I ain't got time for all that. Here's what I do. It works for me. If the rules and doing best practice works for you, fabulous. Keep doing them. You need 1 tablespoon of water. I do not use bottled water, distilled water, spring water. This is tap water. It's city tap water. It's chlorinated. I feed my sourdough with bleach flour. I feed my sourdough with city tap water. She's bubbly, she's big, she's gorgeous, she does all the things. 1 tablespoon of whatever water you choose. I used all-purpose flour whenever I first started mine. 1 tablespoon of flour, whatever flour you want to use, not self-rising. I often just use a fork. I also have this flat spatula that I really love for mixing my sourdough starter whenever I'm feeding her. It's metal. I guess apparently you're not supposed to use metal. Again, I don't follow the rules. You just mix it up in the bottom of your jar. You're going to just leave it sitting for about 8 hours, and then you're gonna cover it. What we're doing is we're capturing the wild yeast in the air. So we'll come back in 8 hours and check her out. Keep breaking rules, because that's what I do. It's day 2 for our new starter. I haven't named it yet. Bernice is named after my grandmother because it was the easiest name for me to remember. It's time to do our second little feed of this brand new starter. And put my tablespoon of flour in here and my tablespoon of water. That's it. It's gonna let it sit. I have some flies buzzing around in the house so I have to handle them, so I'm gonna go ahead and cover it up. Cover it with a paper towel or a piece of fabric or a coffee filter, something that'll let it breathe. It's day 3 for our brand new starter. Looking a little stretchy in there. I think I'm gonna give it 2 tablespoons of flour and 1 tablespoon of water today. I'm gonna give it 2 tablespoons today. All right, so we did 2 tablespoons of flour and 1 tablespoon of water. That is a lot thicker. I think that's what I'm gonna do today. Okay, this is the beginning of day 3. Okay, we're on day 4 of our new sourdough starter. You can see the bubbles in there. So yesterday morning, I fed this 2 tablespoons of flour because it had started looking kind of watery. Looked like it had a little bit of moisture on top, like it was kind of separating out. It typically means that your starter is hungry. So I fed mine extra yesterday morning because I was starting to see it separate a little bit and I wanted to give it more flour. I'm gonna go ahead and discard. I'm gonna take part of this out and feed it freshly because I'm seeing a lot of bubbles. You might go one more day if you're not seeing very many bubbles. You might go another day before you discard some. I'm gonna put it in my discard jar that I use for Bernice. They're gonna intermingle. It's okay. About half out. I might have taken a little more than half, but you know what? It'll be okay. Since I've taken some out, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna feed it like 1/4 cup of flour. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give it 1/4 cup. And then I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of water and look at my consistency first. So I'm gonna put in 2 tablespoons and see where that gets us with our consistency, because I don't want it to be too watery. Oh, see, that's too dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and
hopefully crispy.
Okay, this is the consistency that I look for It's what works best for my starter whenever I'm feeding it. And so that's what I'm gonna do with my new starter as I'm still working on making it. You can see it's pretty thick. Morning, friends. We're on day 5. Got some more bubbles. So I'm gonna discard, feed again. We're just gonna keep rocking and rolling. Discarding. All right, there we go. Time to feed it. I've not decided if this is a him or a her. Jeff thinks I should name it Audrey too. If you know, you know. 1/4 cup of flour. And now we're gonna mix it up to consistency with water. It's day 6. She's whoa. She's looking really watery down in there. Not watery, but really kind of runny. See a ton of bubbles. See all those? So that means that our yeast is eating up the flour. Actually, it looks like it's risen a little. So that's pretty promising. I'm gonna discard and we'll see how it looks tomorrow. We might try to bake with her. We'll see. I guess we're going with Audrey too. We'll see if I remember that name. Discard. I'm gonna do another 1/4 cup. It's about time to fill my bread flour bucket. I'm just gonna do 1, 2, 3. There we go. Just gonna leave her to do her thing. Oh, guys, look how Audrey has grown. Look at all the bubbles. I mean, that's pretty good. She's looking great. What are we, day 6? Day 7. She's getting runny in the mornings. Using up that flour. Time to discard. Do another 1/4 cup of flour. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna put a hair tie right there so I can see where it was. I'm gonna watch and see how long it takes for it to get, you know, doubled. I'm gonna check the time and see how long. That'll tell us how active she actually is. We're on day 7 now. So you can see it didn't really rise double, I don't think. I mean, we were outside working all day today, so, but it doesn't really look like it rose up and then sunk down any, so it's almost there. I have a stomach bug or something going on, man. I felt awful last night. So I'm just now getting to feed this morning. Well, it's not even morning. It's almost 2 o'clock. You can see how watery it is. I'm gonna feed it and make it really thick. Okay, so I gave it the 1/4 cup of flour, but I gave it less water today, so it would be thicker. All right, this is the next morning. We're on day 9. Look at all those bubbles. She didn't really rise a whole lot. I mean, I don't know. I forgot to move the thing. There are a ton of bubbles in there. It's not been 24 hours yet. So I just put a little water in there to thin Audrey down after I discarded. Take my 1/4 cup. So I'm gonna keep feeding her, making her a little thicker as you feed it. You'll kind of learn what your sourdough likes. You'll learn if it likes to be a little more hydrated. Your particular yeast may like a thicker, you know, consistency, more flour. That's why there's so much contradicting information out there, because different people's sourdough starters like different things sometimes. Like, it's really hard to just follow one instruction and it be like the be all end all. Do what you think is best. Do it according to however your sourdough is responding to you. It's not like one size fits all the time. And that's why there's so many different directions, so many different things that people say. As you get to know your sourdough, you will kind of know what it needs. It'll show you, it'll tell you what it's needing. Just pay attention to it. And listen, if you feed it wrong once and it didn't work, it's okay. You just discard, feed again, try something different. Like, it's good. It'll all work out, I promise. Ooh, look how Audrey has grown today, y'all. She's doubled. I think we may try to bake a loaf with Audrey. I forgot to record before I dumped her. Audrey was looking amazing, and I'm gonna go ahead and feed her, and then we are probably gonna mix up some bread or something this evening. Okay, we have Audrey fed. I'm gonna let her sit and do her thing. I fed Audrey at 7 o'clock this morning, and she's tripled in size, y'all.
Whoa.
I think we're definitely baking with her today. What is this, day 10? I think we're on day 10.